Okay.
Is it good?
Yeah, that's good.
All set?
Mhm.
Okay, we'll now resume our regular meeting, and the next item on the agenda is the personnel report.
Okay, make a change to the personnel report to decline the resignation of Darren Mingus effective September 3rd from his part-time correction officer Teamster position to termination of Darren Mingus from his part-time corrections officer Teamsters effective today's date.
Motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. I will now move on to old and new business, Warden.
Okay, under old business, around 11 o'clock this morning, I got a proposal from GTL to do an upgrade to our jailhouse management system. This was the one we had talked about over the last several months, and board just wanted a proposal just to strictly upgrade the system. So the term is for 5 years. GTL is proposing maintaining the same fee rates that are in place today with the current contract, and technology, the following technology that's listed in it will be provided to the Carbon County Correctional Facility at no cost. That lists the OMS upgrade to their current legacy system. And the third page of everything kind of breaks down the fee structure and stuff, and what it would actually cost to install this whole system.
So a question I have, Warden, the system will remain as is, but the equipment and technology will be upgraded?
Well, the actual system itself will be upgraded to a different version of what we are using. The version that we're using now would no longer be able to be utilized with newer computers and stuff that we currently had in the budget for this year, and haven't been able to install them yet because of the non-compatibility of the current system with those computers. So this would upgrade everything, that the system will be compatible with our new computers, and will kind of get us up to speed with the different versions of the OMS system.
Okay, and so in the standard interfaces, they're talking about 2 kiosks. Are those kiosks that we have in place, or are they gonna be new hardware?
No, they're kiosks that we have in place.
Okay,
And we have one in the lobby area for
Okay.
family members to put money on the inmates' phone and commissary accounts. And there's also one back in the records
Okay.
area that, when they come in, any monies that they have on them is automatically put in that.
all right, so they're just showing the hardware that's to be upgraded with the new software?
Correct.
Okay. Anyone have any questions about the proposed contract from GTL?
Is there a maintenance on this that we pay after they install it over this period of time?
Yeah, it is part of the current contract. It's basically all that we really pay is the maintenance fees.
Is that in addition to, is there any additional billing other than what we normally?
No, because as they stated in their offer number 2, fees and rates, that GTL proposes maintaining the same fees and rates that are currently in place.
Oh, okay,
Was this the same extension that they were talking about, with giving us the tablets?
Right, but now
And the
we've
scanner and everything else?
taken all that out, and this is just to
Now
upgrade the
they're-
system.
And is this something, what do they call them, like where everything goes through? Like their towers, or what are them called? Like
servers.
The servers. Are there gonna be new servers in this, or do you need new servers? Cause I think Jerry or Brian had asked something about,
Well, there are,
aren't the servers old? That we have two new ones, are they using them?
Jerry was in the process of moving our servers from the jail over to the comm center. And there are new servers that have been installed over there,
Okay.
you know, so
So I guess, following up on the solicitor's question, so is, what would have been the difference the difference between the contract that's proposed now with the standard costs and the contract they were proposing where they were going to supply us with tablets and a walkthrough, scanner?
basically, it's the same proposal, just minus the tablets and the scanner.
Okay.
You know, in order to, I had requested the scanner to be part of the proposal. With that, they wanted to put the tablets in so they could regenerate some of that money. So that was kind of the wash there. Other than that, you know, we still had this same
Okay, so the tablets were gonna generate the money to pay for the scanner?
paper scanner, correct?
Okay, otherwise it would be the same, so the scanner wasn't on the table unless the tablets were there.
Right, right.
And where are we at with that scanner? I think, didn't we discuss that last time, that was gonna be one of our, like, we do have money in the fund to buy a scanner? I mean, instead of just linking all this together with a scanner, I mean, I'm not ordering something on TV where I'm buying a cook pot and you get an extra one free with it. I mean, I think we need a scanner at the prison,
Right.
and whatever it is, X amount of dollars, I mean, that's something we're trying to get programs into the prison to straighten it out to, you know, recurring occurrences. And, I mean, even if people are out of work release, what are they bringing into the prison? You know, what's going on, you know, even if our workers are going out with their maintenance people, are people coming in, you know, transferred from other places? I mean, how do we know they don't have something hiding? And, to me, that's one of the things, if we have this in that contingency fund, I mean, this is important to the prison. I mean, this is an important thing to the prison, this is more than them tablets. I mean, them tablets are the last thing on my mind compared to what this scanner would be. I mean, I think we should move forward or either get prices on this scanner and get one.
Yeah, and I think, Commissioner, I think part of the delay was, again, not to put too much emphasis on the prison study, but I think we were looking for those individuals to evaluate the need and the cost, and give us recommendations.
And I think a holistic solution, this is
Right.
one piece of it,
Correct.
right? Yeah, but Rocky's right, I mean,
Yeah.
this is a critical element of it,
Right.
but it has to fit into the larger holistic.
Correct, I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm
So-
sure a scanner is gonna be in any scenario that they come with.
I believe it is, I
It
hope it
doesn't,
is.
yeah, it doesn't matter what it is, and I
Right.
think it, I mean, I talk to other counties, and they have it, and it works, and it catches contraband coming in, I mean, people have something in their shoes, they come in, they have it, you know, put somewhere where it's not supposed to be, and it comes in, and, you
Yeah,
know,
there's no reason why we can't move in parallel. If there's concurrence that this is a critical need, let's start the assessment process,
yeah.
and then we can pull the trigger once the study's complete, in lieu of waiting until the study's complete, when there seems to be agreement that this is a critical element.
Yep. Yeah. So, and I mean, the other thing is there is a significant deterrent effect of having a scanner as well.
Mhm.
So-
Yeah, yeah, because I think once it gets around and people know that it's being scanned, if it's done properly, all the procedures, it's gonna deter a lot of this stuff, you know, contraband coming into the prison.
Okay.
And I think that's some of the stuff that any prison wants to get rid of, not just ours.
Right, okay, so it seems like there's a general consensus that we would like that to be part of any security solution we have. So Warden, would you and your staff see if you could do some research on available scanners and costs? I don't think it has to be in depth, but as long as we have some idea of what's out there, you know, that's something we may be able to provide to the people doing the study and help, and ask them to help us make a decision.
Okay.
I think one other issue on this GTL thing, I mean, it does say that fees will be the same, but I think they really should be attached to the proposal.
Okay.
So that we're all looking at the same thing and not going backwards and seeing what what draft of what fee schedule that we're looking at, you know, so they really, maybe before it gets to the commissioner's office for board action, that can be received and forwarded.
Would you have an issue, you know, if the board is in agreement with this, to at least approve it pending the contract? They are working on the contract, you know, so that should have everything in it at this point, but this is something that, you know, it's, once this gets approved, it's not gonna be within a month that the system's gonna be up and running. They have to build the system, you know, et cetera. So if you know, we get the contract within the next week or two, instead of having to wait till the next prison board meeting to look at it, if the solicitor reviews it and sees that it is, you know, that everything is copacetic, and, you know, that we can move forward instead of waiting until another month.
Okay, so you're looking for the board to approve the contract once it's approved by the solicitor? And then
Yeah.
move it forward
Pending the solicitor's
for
review.
board action?
Mhm.
Okay, can I have a motion to that effect?
I'll
Okay,
second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
Okay, the next thing I have under old business is the fingerprinting fees. We had discussed, you know, the possibility of not collecting fees at the prison anymore. After last prison board meeting, I did send out 2019's as well as the first few months of 2020's monthly live scan reports to the board, and just looking for a, you know, direction as to where we want to go from here. Do we want to, you know, set a fee and then have these collected through the court costs and fines, or how we want to move forward from this?
And I think part of the question on that we spoke about, Tim, is whether or not they have to be lumped together with other costs. And I know Danny wasn't here, I thought we were gonna get something, the solicitor was gonna investigate that. I'm not trying to put you on, that's not where I'm coming from there. You may not have made, it may not have even made the request to you, okay?
Right, yeah.
But I know the sheriff had brought up, and I hadn't thought of it at the time, was there an order in place? There is, because
Oh,
I
okay.
had court administration check that. There was an order back on March 12th of 2010. And that's the order that implemented the $100 with the potential discount of $75. It also includes a charge for juveniles of $25 and private fingerprints of $20, but it's the order that deals with what we're talking about. The statute that is the authority to implement this is at Title 42, it's section 1725.1. And that's in the administrative order itself. And when you go to that statute, it talks about the authorization of implementing the fees we're talking about to a maximum not to exceed $300. But it also says two other things that I think are of significance. It says the fee under this statute should be paid to the county and deposited into a special central or regional booking center fund established in the county. So I'm assuming without knowing that the county has done that, and I suspect that's where it's going. And then it says, monies in this special fund shall be used solely for the implementation of a countywide booking center plan under section 1726 of the statute, and the startup, operation, or maintenance of a booking center. And then it says under subsection C, which is getting to, I think, what I was inquiring about last time, it says other laws. It says the booking center fee should be imposed notwithstanding any other provision of law to the contrary. There's no cases annotated under this. It appears on its face as though this is a standalone fee that doesn't get dispersed across the board with respect to other costs. It's a standalone fee. So when I said before, I think this was a way of streamlining getting funds into the county without waiting, I think it still does that. I mean, obviously the solicitor should check that and make sure it's done in the way the law requires. And even the $100, even though that's imposed at sentencing, I'm not sure that can't be set aside from the other costs and dispersed directly into this fund. I only did very brief looking into this, so I'm not claiming I did a lot of extensive research. The one thing, though, that I don't recall, it's just, it was 10 years ago when this was done. The fee is only allowed if there's a countywide booking center plan. That's done, I'm hoping there is one. Okay, I don't know. That's done by the county in conjunction with CJAT. Again, this is 10 years ago. I'm assuming there was one
I-
done.
I
because-
believe there is, Judge.
Okay, 'cause then it had to
And
get-
Jim
that-
Dodson would be the man who would
Okay, because
know.
then it had to be sent to the Department, I guess, Crimes and Commissions, or something like that, Tony. It had to be given to the LPC.
Right,
But that plan is necessary before this fee can be implemented. So we've been doing it for 10 years.
right.
So I'm just saying, I hope it was.
Yeah.
But assuming it was done correctly, I think we should presume it was done correctly, hopefully it was done correctly. I don't know that this fee is not a standalone fee that the county has direct access to, separate and apart from other allocation of expenses when there's a payment on sentencing. Again, I would think, the solicitor should investigate that a little further, but that's a statutory authority that exists for it.
Okay.
Well, from what I was told from Bureau of Collections and the Clerk of Court's office, that it is going into their accounts, and we're only getting a portion of the time, so we're not getting the full $75 or $100.
And that's why I'm saying to him, I'm not sure that that's being done properly.
Right.
And it shouldn't be going into the clerk's office, according to this, it's supposed to be a separate account
Yeah,
set up by the county.
well, the way we've been doing it since day one is, whatever magistrate's office that that the case came from, that's where we've been taking the monies, unless they had their preliminary hearing already, then everything's taken down to the Bureau of Collections, so.
I know for this year so far, from what I was provided, this is as of August 31st of this year, it brought in $92,633.69. That's overall, that's $75 and the 100. That may be high in comparison to past years. I only say that because 2019, and these may be figures you gave in your stuff too, Tim, I'm not sure. I was told, but that was only as of August 31st of this year, 93,000 roughly. All of 2019, it brought in 67,500, I'm rounding. So it increased. Now, I know there was collection issues in the Clerk of Court's office, that may have been some of the emphasis of collecting to increase it. And in 2018, for whatever reason, it was down to around $30,000. But I think that fee is paying half of the expense of, it used to be Jody as someone else, she's replaced Mary. So I suspect half this fee is being used to pay the person of that replacement for Jody. But the balance should be accumulated in some account. And, I mean, with the amounts that it's generating and with what we're paying, because we're currently paying Jody's replacement, I think it's about $21,000 a year. So this fee is, and that's only half of that. So when I say we're paying that, we're only paying $10,000. This account should probably have several $100,000 in it by this point in time. I don't know, I don't have that figure. But it's probably worthwhile further investigation if it's being put into a general clerk of courts account and being dispersed piecemeal.
Right.
That, I'm not sure is the way it's supposed to be done. I'm not saying it's being done wrong, I don't know for sure, I'm just saying on its face, it looks as though it can be a standalone account that goes directly into the account.
So from my perspective anyway, it seems like there's two issues here. The first issue is how the monies that are collected are managed, and if there should be any collection at the prison, or should there be a discount for paying within a certain period of time.
And like I said earlier, Tony, when we first discussed it, I think the purpose for the discount was to get money into the county faster, as well as to encourage payment.
Right, we discussed
But
that.
I know we did,
Yeah.
but then we thought
Yeah.
that maybe we weren't getting it because it had to be dispersed all across.
Right.
So assuming we are getting it, I think that purpose is still a valid purpose and should still continue from my
Right.
point of view.
Right, and I think one of the avenues to still maintain that would still allow monies not to be taken at the prison if there was a formulated field that would allow that $75 to be applied rather than $100 if there was a date certain in there that the software could compute. So I think that that was something that we also verified, at least that when I spoke with Greg Armstrong, he thought that whatever database is using that accounting, if there was a computed field in there that would look for a date, and I'm not sure what the date is, if they pay before the preliminary hearing,
If
is
they
that what it is?
pay it before they have their preliminary hearing.
Right,
get-
right.
the-
So that, I guess the way it was explained to me is, once that preliminary hearing date is in there, if the monies were paid before that particular date, then they would get a discount of $25.
Yeah, the order just says 28, it doesn't, it may be that date, but it just
Yeah.
says, there's a reduced rate of $75 will be imposed on adult persons who prepay the assessed costs at the time said electronic fingerprints and photos are taken. And I think elsewhere within here it talks about arraignment, I think that
Right.
the magistrates impose when they're supposed to go get their fingerprints and stuff. And I think those are all prior to the preliminary hearing, as I recall.
Right.
So you're right, it still fits in with what you're saying, it was
Correct.
prior to the preliminary hearing.
Correct. So I guess the question in my mind is, while we wait to see what's happening with the management of that account, is there any reason to delay a decision on whether the prison should be collecting those monies?
You don't have an alternative plan yet, Joe.
We do, right? The alternative plan is to connect it, is to have them collected either at the courthouse or at the MDJ's office, correct?
Well, when you collect it, what account does it go to? Because then it isn't, or you just take it into the clerk of courts.
I take it either, if the preliminary hearing hasn't been held yet, like, right now Tina does fingerprinting on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So then Thursday morning when she comes in, she calls all the magistrates to see if any of them had their preliminary hearings yet. If they did, those monies have to go to the clerk of courts and collections office. If they haven't had them yet, then those monies are taken to the magistrate offices. What accounts they're putting them into, from what I gather, is they're put into their account for the fines and costs. And from what I've been told, the full $75 or $100 is not, given directly back to the county. It is, put into their account and dispersed among all their fines and costs
At
as well
least
as
take care of one of the problems. It's only perpetuating the problem to give it out to the clerk of courts and the magistrate, so maybe you should collect it and put it in a booking account fee, which whether we have one or don't have one, at least then it's going directly in there and the full amount's going directly in there.
But you're not the only one who collects it, correct?
No, the magistrates, I guess, collect it too.
No, they don't. We're the only ones that collect the fee. If they don't pay the fee the day that they're fingerprinted, then the $100 automatically gets assessed at the time of sentencing.
Okay.
But then that was the point where I think we're coming back to, I think we discussed that before, I think what Judge Nanovic talked about, like, we're waiting for our money and when are we getting it, I think, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
no, I do,
No.
it sounds,
yeah, like,
well,
we're,
first of all, assuming that what I believe is the case should be happening,
yeah,
you should be getting, but again, it doesn't go into the general fund, Rocky, it goes into this account that has to
Right.
be used for these purposes.
Right.
But it doesn't sound as though that's what's happening.
no, yeah,
And
exactly.
because like I said, this account, I think, based upon what we're paying out, should have $400,000 or $500,000 in it by now.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm just going by like the conversation we had before, if it's not collected before, afterwards, we don't know when we're getting the money or where it is.
Right. But I think,
Yeah,
and Tim's correct, I mean, if it's not paid beforehand,
right,
it does get assessed at the time of sentencing. We always add on $100 for live scan.
mm-hmm,
But that live scan, I believe from what I'm reading, when it gets, even though it's paid into the clerk's office, I would think the first $100 can be put into this account.
correct,
It's a
like,
standalone account.
yeah, like if it's $343, the first 100 goes into that and the other.
That's my gut, I hate to say it this way, that's my gut belief.
Yeah, it should be
So-
that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think the solicitor answered our question. I think we do have to wait until we find out the status of that fund before we make a decision on if we should or should not collect it.
That fund, I would think, might have been audited when this whole thing came up with Bill McGinley too, because that's where some of these funds were coming from that he was
Yeah, that I
he
don't
was
know.
dispersing with.
Yeah,
I
and
would
without
have
having
thought
the-
it might have been part of that audit, but I don't
Right.
know.
Without having the controller here,
Or the treasurer.
Or the treasurer, yeah. So I think, you know, based on what the judge is saying, I think we need to, you know, get some clarification on,
And Danny,
The
we have to
status
look at it,
of
I don't
that
know if
fund.
you need the statute or not, Danny, but I can give it to you.
Yeah.
This may be the order,
Oh, sure,
maybe, I know Greg's coming over tomorrow
okay,
morning.
I'll give it to Greg, he can bring it over
Yeah,
for you.
thank you.
so with the consensus of the board, we'll refer this to the solicitor for further review and reporting, and then we can make a decision later on.
Yeah, and this, that's what we said in the minutes from the
Yeah,
last meeting
yeah.
that we just approved upon the solicitor.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so if you read the minutes, you'll see we asked you with some.
We just didn't give you the memo.
So today was a reminder. Okay, all right, Gordon?
Okay, next thing I have is the medical services bids. We had tabled them from last month, I guess,
Okay.
until the,
Is that a report that you can provide us with, Ally?
I did email everyone
Okay.
the two proposals. Now, if you reviewed them, I did that right after our meeting last
Yeah.
month. The low proposer was Dr. Baddock at $55,000 annually. The other bidder, Dr. McLaughlin, was at $93,000, I believe. St. Luke's did get back to me. Their email was that there must have been some misunderstanding. They will get back to me. I got a response from Lehigh Valley today. Their response was that, what did they say here? We didn't think we should be the medical director without having a hospital to send the patients in the county. Hopefully, we can submit a proposal next time around.
Well, they're not interested.
No.
Right? So, the county clerk and I had a brief discussion about Dr. Baddock's proposal, and of course, the issue with Dr. Baddock's proposal is he doesn't have a real good history with us. And one of the reasons why we wanted to solicit some others was because we wanted to see if it was competitive and if there was a potential backup. It appears as though we only have those two available to us. They're quite different in the cost. Although I think one of the questions that we asked the solicitor was, you know, if we're unhappy with the performance, we can get out of it in a timely fashion. The only problem is then we have to have something to go to if we decide to move on from the contract.
Problem all along,
Right.
before you can terminate.
Right.
We need to have somebody else to go to.
Right. And one of the things that I brought up, and the clerk reminded me, I said, well, can't we just ask him to put in some kind of a backup proposal? I mean, so what happens with this provider is, the contract says if they don't provide the services, they don't get paid, but there's no incentive for him to do that without penalty. So I didn't know if there was a way to put a penalty clause in the contract that not only will you not get paid, but there'll be some other further financial penalty for not doing it, and maybe that'll be some more incentive. But the clerk reminded me that that wasn't part of the RFP, so we can't do that later on.
But, you know, I don't think we have to pay them. If they don't show up, we don't pay.
Well, you know, that's the point. My point is something in addition to not paying
Yeah.
him, so like a penalty for not performing the service of the contract.
How has the performance been over the last few months?
since COVID, he's been there his 3 days a week. And even at some point, he was actually bringing a physician's assistant with as well, which I probably would assume would be his backup if he can't make it. So, you know, we've had no issues to this point probably since about March.
Yeah. And Mrs. Arner, you did say that there was a provision in this contract that wasn't in the previous contract for a nurse?
No, it was always in there
Oh, okay,
that the proposer had to provide an alternate.
okay.
I think though, we got scared away from the $1 million plus one that was out there. And the problem I have is, we haven't holistically looked at our medical costs to say that's an unrealistic number. I mean, I look at the general ledger every week, and I see St. Luke's, I see all these different providers who are providing services. But when I looked at that 1 million, whatever it was, response that came back, it seemed like they were being inclusive. That medical, that dental, all those nickels and dimes we're sending people out to seemed to be brought together in that one proposal. Right? So what is it costing us holistically for medical services for the prison? Is it 1.5 and this company is offering only 1.1? I mean, I don't think we've done just service of assessing that what seems to be an inordinate amount of money, but is it? Because all Baddock does, hey, I'm writing a script, I'm doing this, I'm sending you here. I mean, he's the middleman. This other proposal seemed to be a holistic approach to our needs, the dental, the medical, could even be the vision, you know, it just seemed to be the pharmaceutical,
Yeah.
you know? So maybe the approach is, since we have Baddock performing, because he's under the gun, he's at risk of losing the bid, why not kick it down the road, extend it for 3 to 6 months, and do that holistic look, let fiscal run the data, and see what our burn rate is really.
We actually, when we have our meetings with cost management, we have the 2-year, the spring and the fall.
Yeah.
That pretty much breaks everything down as to what we're spending anyway.
Right,
So
they're
we can-
bringing it all
We can
together
take those
for us.
reports and just,
Yeah,
you know, kind of,
I mean, then talk to other prisons that have used this company, well, why did you go with them and not individual providers?
So the question I have is, I mean, PIMIC gives us our great discount on all our services, correct?
yes, well,
Okay.
through the
So-
cost management.
Right,
yes.
through cost management, so can we still utilize them if we go with this company that has the $1.1 million?
No.
So there,
no.
so we
Because
don't
they-
get
they
those
kind of-
discounts.
They kind of do PIMIC's job, as what PIMIC's doing
Okay.
for us, they
They
kind of do
Yeah.
that
So we
on
may
their
get a
own.
discount similar to PIMIC with them?
Right,
Okay, but we
That
don't
could be
know.
it, right.
Okay.
which is still under Act 22, which
Right.
has to do with
Right.
Medicare,
So-
Medicaid rates.
So I think the commissioner has a good point, you know, we don't have much of an alternative now, but it doesn't mean we need to stop looking at another alternative.
What's the term of the agreement?
2 years,
2 years.
But it can be
Terminated.
terminated,
Terminated.
on 60 days.
60
Okay.
days.
so, okay.
So you just go with it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'll make a motion to award the agreement with
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr.
I'll
Baddock's
second
group.
Okay, all in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
All right.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
Okay, the last thing I had under old business, Sheriff, I don't know if there's any more update on the
There,
prison study?
there is, I've been working with the solicitor and with the 2 individuals in the prison study, and we're still working out the fine details of the contract. The majority of the contract,
One issue.
okay, yeah, so hopefully we can get that resolved prior to the next meeting.
Okay, under new business, the only thing I have is the fire pump service agreement from Johnson Controls. There is one issue with it. Per Johnson Controls and their safety team, the JCI techs will only will be performing any electrical test, will not be performing any electrical testing or documentation of the electrical controller. Volts and amp readings are required and need to be performed by qualified personnel, electrician or the electrical subcontractor. Now, we did have pretty much the same service agreement in place for last year. That was approved, and I don't know if that was missed at the time or what, that, the electrical part of it wasn't being, serviced under this. I don't know.
Is there any way that our maintenance staff can do that?
The maintenance staff we currently have aren't certified
Certified.
electricians or anything.
But the electronics end is the concern I have. Supposedly, Johnson Controls had bought out Simplex Cornell and not providing the service to their panels, their control panels for the fire pump and diesel generator, or diesel engine which runs it, operates the pump. Like I said, the pump kicked in like it was supposed to on Monday morning when we dropped the pressure, when we started flowing water. But my concern, I think we have to go out and look. I don't know, or we can talk to Larry, but I don't think he has the electronic expertise on all the micro switches and all that other issues that are in that control panel that controls everything, the alarm system and everything else. If you're buying our house or something like that, it's great, but for this part, I think it's a specialized, agreement that we have to look at someone else to, come in and ensure that it's being taken care of. That's my opinion, that we should look for someone to at least check it out and, routine maintenance on it, which hasn't been done in years.
One thing I can do, Commissioner, Johnson Controls kind of has two different entities. We have them with this contract servicing the fire pump, and then we also have them servicing our smoke and fire detectors and stuff as well as the panel that's in the facility itself. I could always reach out to that entity of Johnson Controls to see if they would maybe be able to do the electrical part of that. I don't know if they would, they're kind of doing the electrical part in the facility
Mhm.
itself, checking all
Anyway,
the,
From what I understand, they don't want any part of that.
well, the individual that said they don't want any part of it is from the fire pump part of it. I mean, they have a separate
Entity
Group
does.
that does the other part, so I can reach out to the other, service manager and that does our stuff in-house in the actual facility itself and see maybe if that's something that they could do that panel as well.
And if they can't do that, I guess we have to look for a certified electrician.
Some type of electrician
All
or
right.
whatever to look at it.
Okay,
And that was all I had under new business.
okay. That moves on to correspondence. Is there any correspondence?
I have nothing.
Any report from the solicitor?
Just that it's actually 90 days, not 60 days on the notice to terminate on the
Okay.
contract.
Okay. I don't think that makes a difference anyway, no. Okay.
Nothing else.
All right, is there any further business before the prison board today? Hearing none, we will adjourn. Thank you. While the three of you are here, can I just have a couple minutes of your time? Yeah, one thing to finish.
See you, Judge.